is your team, a season ticket holder at the games, obnoxious in the stands. This will be good. Let's do this though. These are great games, right? On paper.
Yes.
I mean, we've got 4 good teams. I'm fired up for this weekend.
Yes.
But let's begin. We'll go in chronological order. We'll start with the early game. San Francisco, Philly. Okay, you guys are going to have to help here because this is I don't know what to do on this.
Why?
Philly 2.5, total 46.5.
Yeah.
I really like the Niners, man. I like
You
the
do?
Niners. They got weapons. They got that defense. Purdy's playing tremendously well. I like a lot of what they do. I love Shanahan, right?
Yeah.
Shanahan as a dog has been money, 61% as a dog.
Say Mike Shanahan or Kyle Shanahan?
No, that would be Kyle, Dave. Thanks for asking.
Okay,
that would be Kyle.
I thought you said Mike.
So there's a lot of things to like about the Niners. But
Uh-huh.
now I flip over, and there's a
about the
lot to like about the Eagles, right?
Right.
Jalen Hurts was playing like a league MVP. You get that
right.
home field. Newbie, how much does this home field matter? Is that the swing here? Is that the difference in this one?
I mean, I'll tell you what, the Giants never had a shot in that game last week because it was just rocking the second you walked in there. I think that's the bigger part of getting this home field throughout or getting that 1 seed. Sure, the bye is great, especially with a team like the Eagles who needed to ice some lumps and bruises and get some guys healthy. But there is something to this home field advantage. And I will say, I, just like you guys, have been blown away with what Brock Purdy has done. The other shoe you kept thinking, it's going to drop. It's going to drop. Anybody can look good for 1 game. Anybody can look good for 2 games. And he just continues to perform. However, in those performances, only 2 of those wins came on the road. So this is going to be his 3rd road game, and he ain't in Kansas anymore going into the link with these subhuman people that have been tailgating since yesterday, getting ready for this game. For what it's worth, Brock Purdy in college on the road, only 10-13. So Brocktober, can it be Brocktuary? We'll see. But
now hold on here, Noob. Now that's a little unfair. I think he's got a few more weapons here at San Francisco than he did at Iowa State.
This is fair.
I mean, come on here.
But it's a stat that favors me, B-How, so I had to drop it.
That's how this works, B-How. Don't you know we've been doing the show now for a long time?
There's the question, though. To me, it's Brock Purdy on the road in this environment. I mean, you're right, guys. He's managed this so extremely well. Shanahan will have a great playbook for him on the road to help management. He's played a lot of football, but isn't that the question? 2 teams, 2 great defenses, 2 offenses that move it, weapons on both sides. The biggest question mark in the whole game is Brock Purdy's ability to go on the road in this environment and still perform and not have the big mistake. To me, that's the one question. That might be the differentiator here.
I have a question for you then, because when you look at the numbers right now, the odds to win a Super Bowl, the Niners are the 4th choice. There's only 4 teams available. The odds makers have spoken. The market has spoken. And rookie quarterback on the road for the biggest game of the season, where he hasn't lost yet, is still hard to overcome. But can the Philadelphia Eagles run the ball?
Good question.
On the San Francisco defense? That, for me, is what's going to determine this game. I mean, obviously, turnovers always decide football games. If you lose the turnover battle, look at Dallas last week against San Francisco.
Yep.
Dak throws 2 picks. If Dak throws 1, I argue Dallas could win the game. If Dak throws none, Dallas does win that game. It was 9-9, which, by the way, B-How, do you like old school football games like that are tough defensive battles like that? Is that are we old in that regard where we actually like those games? Because everybody was like, this game stinks. This game is boring. I thought that was a great football game. Did you?
I don't love it in October. I'm all in for it on the playoffs because of the high level of drama. So kind of like a baseball game. If you give me 1-0 in June, I'm not as excited as I am in September or October, really, when the playoffs get going. So I kind of look at it the same way.
Okay. All right. Well, so we always look at the games, try to at least anyway on this show in a unique way. I always look at it through the total. Look at the total of the San Francisco-Philadelphia game. Okay. 46.5 and going up, open 45.5, up to 46.5. we were against everybody last week with the Dallas-San Francisco game. Those were two elite defenses in the league. I think top 5, both of them. And I really like the under. Nobody's patting anybody's on the back because, we had wrong sides and stuff too. This game feels like an under again to me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we see a lot of running. I feel like we see a lot of trying to just not make mistakes, but be very careful with the ball, at least from San Francisco. If Philadelphia can run the ball, San Francisco's not going to have that many opportunities to drive with the ball. And then he's going to be forced to make plays. I see Philadelphia, and I can see under, but if Philly gets going, not that I'm saying they could blow them out like the Giants be how, but can you see any of that? You really like San Francisco to go in there and win outright?
I don't know. I'd like to take them. I've actually got futures on both, so I'll just play something here for some fun.
Yes.
So I'm not picking a side because I can't pick a side. I don't know. I know we're not supposed to come on shows and say I don't know.
What do you mean?
How do you know this?
That's the most honest thing you could say. When you don't know, you say you don't know. When you go on shows and stuff and say when you really don't, I think that's worse.
Well, Dave, with it being at 2.5 and the game we're going to be getting into, I mean, don't we tease up both of the dogs this week? If we don't know, don't we just tease up both of these dogs? 2.5 and maybe another 2.5 on the other side. We get 8.5 in both championship games.
The teasers worked out pretty good for the sides last week.
The best.
Yeah, that worked out pretty good.
That was a teaser paradise.
That was a hard one. That was a hard one. I hope people were watching this show because I'm not sure anybody would have come up with that teaser.
Nobody had that thing. Only
absolutely, had to be listening here to get that. So congratulations, everybody that came along with that. Try to provide great information for you. We gave you that one. Tried to tell you, easy.
What we do.
Try. It's, you can only lead a horse to water. Can't make it drink. And we try. That's true.
Dave, real quick, last thing on this game that I want to throw in here before we pivot. Again, little homer-ish, but Jalen Hurts at home as a starter with Nick Sirianni as his head coach. 9-2-1 against the spread. Average margin of victory over 11.5 points. So Jalen Hurts at home, ultra motivated guy. When they are home favorites laying chalk, they've got the job done under Jalen Hurts. That's the last one I'll throw out there for you. 9-2-1. That's over 75%.
Now we're all on the Twitter, and newbies on the Instagram and all the other socials. A lot of people. B Howe at Brad Howe 07 on the Twitter. Myself at Sports Cake and Sig on the Twitter. Before we move on, B Howe, I'll ask you this: what's the more insufferable fan base? What is the one between the Philadelphia Eagle fan base and the San Francisco 49er Nation, or whatever they call themselves now? Which one are we going to have to tolerate for 2 weeks? Which one would you prefer? Which one's worse?
I'm not taking that bait. I'm not walking in. We got listeners in all those fan bases. You think you're going to ask me that question? I'm going to jump in and alienate a fan base? Not answering. Love them both. Very passionate fans.
I love them both too. I do. But give me
all right, real quick on this. If I want to have some
Sirianni for 2 weeks, I can't get enough of it.
If I want to have some fun on this, right, just a little action.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to take a side because I don't know. What if I tease up? So I like newbies tease up side of that. I've already done that on the Kansas City side. What if I went San Francisco up?
Yep.
Total up and take the under.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Book it or bet it, as you often say on one of your other shows.
Yeah, we do that on the Boston University Book Talk. Yeah, I think I would. What beats you? Philly wins by 10 or more, doesn't it? I don't know if it's the total.
Philly going to win by 10 or more in this?
The game could get away.
Go Birds.
Is San Francisco capable of coming back in that situation?
I don't know.
I don't know. You give Philly that one-way ticket to the quarterback with a lead, you see what happens.
What's Philly's best win over the toughest opponent other than what they're about to face in San Francisco? What would you point to?
I mean, this
season.
Oh man, that's part of the problem is that this Eagles team hasn't really had to be battle tested. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like any detractors of the Eagles have pointed to, the subpar schedule that they've had. I don't know.
It's Dallas. Dallas is the answer, right? Dallas back in October.
Yeah, but that was without Dak,
Yeah,
So
true.
Is that as great as it was? I mean,
no.
I guess, yeah, you have to point to that. I mean, I think the decent win over the Packers. I mean, but what were the Packers?
Non-playoff team. Yeah.
Oh no. Is this the Minnesota Vikings? Is that what you're saying?
This sounds like B Howe talking about Penn State somehow. Somehow
right?
we've gone back into the Penn State is the greatest.
Yeah, look at their schedule. They didn't play anybody. See?
Now you both pulled a typical you and tried to put words in my mouth. I simply asked the man who goes to every Eagles game a question. What's the best win against the best team outside of the San Francisco team is good.
Yeah, best team that they've played all year. Agreed.
But you made a point there without Dak. Okay. All right. I was just asking the question.
It's always just asking a question.
Well, let's talk
about Penn State. I'm the one that told you guys to take the Penn State over. I was Johnny Penn State all year on this show.
Eagles down 2 points at the end of the game. Jake Elliott, 59-yard field goal. Eagles win by 1. You guys cash your tickets. All the sharps are happy, and I'm happy as well. There we go.
Wow. Yeah. That would be the best result for the book
ever
as well. That would be an NFC championship game with a gigantic handle like this, with a 2.5 spread that falls where the favorite wins, but the dog covers. Hello. Like B how I say, hello. That would work out just fine. Yes.
Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, click on another video right here on the screen. And if you really liked it, consider subscribing below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you.